No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
Pistol braces, frames and receivers, bump stocks, engaged in the business, and zero tolerance. Ever heard of those things, assholes? Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm, of course, Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. And I don't mind telling you guys I'm pretty fired up about this latest video, this latest super vague but very unconstitutional video and very dangerous video that these 6 clowns have put out here recently. These 6 Democrat, quote, veterans are telling troops to refuse orders, but they stayed completely silent when Biden's ATF trampled all over the Constitution. If you haven't seen the video, you gotta see it if you want to understand the context of this video.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military,
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
So where were these same 6 people that now certainly care about what everybody else in the federal government is doing, and now they care about the Constitution? When is the last time that you saw a Democrat truly care about the Constitution? Make no mistake, there's plenty of Republicans that don't care about the Constitution. In fact, most of them, Democrat and Republicans, don't know the Constitution to begin with. It's not a requirement to be an elected official. Go figure. But these same 6 defenders of the Constitution were nowhere to be found when court-ruled unconstitutional orders were coming straight from the Biden White House, targeting millions of law-abiding American gun owners. Now, you're probably a lot like me. As you watched the video, you were shouting back at it. Because let's ignore the vagueness for a minute. It's not lost on me, this type of irony, whenever these people get out there, the same people who have ignored the Constitution every step of the way, and suddenly, whenever it comes time for them to clutch a few pearls and suddenly act like they're the true Americans, now the Constitution matters. Quick side note. How many Democrat politicians like these clowns, and how many Democrats in general, and again, this is not a pro-Republican thing, this is more a pro-conservative thing that I'm trying to point out. So let's not use the political parties. How many liberals, far left-leaning people that have left-leaning ideologies, not political party, have you ever seen flying an American flag in their front yard, including these 6 clowns right here? I understand when it comes close to election time, they likely do that. But how many of your friends and neighbors who are left-leaning have you ever seen take pride in the American flag and make sure to hang a new one out whenever the colors start to fade on the old one? Now, I'm not even going to get into these people's background for a second here. You know Elise Slotkin, she is CIA, so she has zero credibility with anybody as far as I'm concerned. Zero. You come from the biggest rot. You come from the fertilizer of the rot, the CIA. And now you want me to believe you? Sister girl, I stopped believing you the moment your name got associated with the CIA. You are a walking psyop. So I know whenever you're involved and they kick off a video like this with you, we got something coming. I'm going to point out the rank hypocrisy and why this video is dangerous political theater by these people. First of all, there's zero specifics pointed out by these people. A lot of people are making assumptions. Oh, this is probably what they... No. No, you don't get the luxury to say what you think they meant. There's a reason they didn't point out specifics. For one, they don't have any. But there's a reason why they're being vague. Because it gives them cover. They don't have to point anything out specifically, so they can't be told that they're wrong about those things. So by making a blanket statement that has no specifics and no details, they can't be told they're wrong because we don't know what you're talking about. They repeat the phrase illegal orders like it's some kind of mantra, but they name nothing. No law, no policy, no examples. They're telling every entry-level, mid-level military person to decide for themselves what they think the Constitution means. You want to know how to destroy unit cohesion and get chaos and partisan garbage in the military? Like that. Now, one of the problems I have is these people have no skin in the game. The troops are the ones that are going to pay the price on this, not these politicians. Think about it. If a single service member watches their video, takes it for what it's worth, and decides upon himself, because remember, no guidance, totally vague, no specifics, decides upon themselves to refuse. I'm just thinking of all of you guys out in the military know why I'm laughing. I want to see these entry-level or mid-level guys just take it upon themselves to refuse an order, a direct order, and then use this video as their reason for doing it to the person who they refuse the orders to. Article 90, 91, or 92 UCMJ. Court-martial rank is gone. Your clearance is gone. Your benefits are history. You might even get Leavenworth. The 6 lawmakers, completely untouchable. The speech and debate clause comes to mind. That's the defense they're going to use. Precedent from Vietnam to today protects them when they say garbage like this. They get donor money and MSNBC hits. You, the enlisted, get the fallout. So let me make this really clear to any military out there that might be watching this, future military or current military, any weak-brained people out there that are easily dissuaded. They are trying to be vague on purpose so that you take it hook, line, and sinker, and there can be something started on their behalf. You cry defense of this video that they put out to say, well, that's why I did it. Nothing happens to them. Your career is done. Your career is done. Their career doesn't miss a beat. You won't even be a speed bump to them as far as their career goes. They will look to the side, glance, and go, dummy, and keep going. But you're going to have a big mess that you are never going to clean up, because this record will ride with you for the rest of your life when you start to refuse orders because of these clowns. Let's talk about the ATF hypocrisy, clear constitutional violations from right here at home, as they put it. And they said nothing. I'm going to repeat the line real quick in case it's already left somebody's memory. Threats to our Constitution from right here at home. Well, from 2021 to 2024, the Biden White House directed the ATF to issue multiple rules, not laws, that federal courts and even the Supreme Court ruled were blatant violations of the Second Amendment of the United States, rewriting laws Congress never passed, turning millions of law-abiding Americans into felons overnight. And where were these 6 people? They were in Congress, but they were really quiet. While real unconstitutional stuff, specifics that I can name, were taking place. To show you that I'm better than them, I'm going to name those specifics for you. The pistol brace rule. Biden's ATF reclassified 40 million legally owned stabilizing braces as, quote, sharp-barreled rifles under the NFA. Overnight, disabled veterans and regular law-abiding gun owners like you and I became felons, potential felons, facing 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine unless they registered, destroyed, or surrendered their property that they lawfully purchased. Multiple federal courts, Northern District of Texas, 8th Circuit, vacated the rule as unconstitutional and unlawful. The Eighth Circuit called it a massive overreach. Frames and receivers, or the more preferred name, ghost gun rule of 2022. The ATF redefined what a firearm is to ban home build kits, something that's been happening for centuries where people built guns in their own home, something Americans have done since the beginning of time. Federal courts blocked or vacated huge parts of it. The Supreme Court heard arguments and the case is still pending, but lower courts already ruled ATF exceeded authority during all that. Unconstitutional. Not a peep out of these six. Bump stock ban. Supreme Court in Garland versus Cargill ruled 6-3 in favor of Cargill that the ATF illegally classified bump stocks as machine guns, a direct violation of statutory law. Did you hear from these six? I didn't. It was literally unconstitutional. How about engage in the business rule? They tried to impose universal background checks by redefining who's a dealer. Federal courts struck it down as unconstitutional. In fact, they shot Brian Malinowski in his hallway of his personal home because he engaged in that. Now, you may not think that selling firearms is constitutional. That would be super left-leaning, and that would be stupid think. But I understand if you've been convinced by people on the left that selling firearms without an FFL or without having an FFL might be unconstitutional. Do you think it's constitutional to shoot a man in his forehead for doing this? Maybe that was unconstitutional. The zero tolerance policy. Government officials of the United States revoked federal firearms licenses for minor paperwork errors ended by the Trump administration in 2025, by the way, where these people missed clerical errors, put a wrong number, a wrong digit, a wrong letter. These mom and pops were run out of business by what was later determined to be an undue burden on the Second Amendment. These weren't vague future threats. These were executive actions that were put in place that hurt and harmed American people and violated their constitutional rights. Yet these six people sat on their hands the whole time and never put out some even seemingly vague video to protect the American people during all of this. Where was the don't give up the shit video telling ATF that they must refuse illegal orders at that time? I didn't hear one peep out of that. Where was Slotkin, Kelly, Crow, Houlihan, DeLuzio, or Goodlander demanding ATF agents disobey Biden's unconstitutional directives at the time? Crickets. Not a damn thing. Zero outrage, zero statements, zero videos to the press, zero cute little social media TikTok videos to put out that might send the dog whistle message to the U.S. military or government agents. Nothing telling federal law enforcement or any federal agents that you swore an oath to the Constitution refuse these unlawful rules. They only discovered illegal orders whenever their party lost the power of the White House. Can I talk about the COVID vaccine mandate hypocrisy? Yeah, I'm still not over that one. Same story. Biden's DOD forced an experimental shot-turn mandate on the entire force, the entire military. 8,400 troops kicked out. Religious accommodations were even denied. Where was the video telling military troops at that time? Keep this in your pocket. Ignore illegal orders. Slotkin voted against protections. Houlihan defended lawful orders, as she stated. The rest stayed quiet. Selective constitutional outrage based on who's in power at the time. Now, one of the things that I found super cowardly, other than trying to goad people into doing something wrong, is the fact that these people are trying to initiate unrest and trouble by getting, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but let's be honest here. These people are ranking people, these politicians. While I have zero respect for them, they are ranking people, right, within the federal government. In other words, if they get pulled over and you get pulled over, who's getting the ticket? You are, not them. So they're going to get favors. They have cover. They can do whatever they want and usually get away with it. They have proven that over decades. Yet they are trying to get entry-level, mid-level military to do their dirty work. They're trying to get them. They're purposely sending a vague-ish, dog whistle-ish message out there. They're sending this out there on purpose, hoping something will pop off. They're trying to get the entry-level guys and the mid-level guys in trouble And then they can sit back and go, it wasn't me. They misunderstood what I said. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. Why does that matter to me? Because they're Congress. They're the ones that actually have the actual power to do something wrong. In other words, if there's really something unconstitutional or unlawful that someone, let's just say Trump, because that's what they're trying to imply, let's say that he really is proposing something or doing something unlawful. You know who can correct that? Those 6 people. I don't mean through a TikTok video. I don't mean trying to encourage somebody to go against orders in the military. I mean them, Congress. Congress can get involved and push back. Not to mention judges and everybody else, right? But no, they're trying to get people who really are not thinking about these things clearly. They're trying to get them to get in trouble, to get something stoked, to gin something up. Congress passes laws. Congress defunds things. Congress holds hearings. Congress supports lawsuits. Heck, if they're talking about military deployment of the National Guard to support, and when I say support, the National Guard is not going into any of these neighborhoods, whether it's ICE or whether it's these people to go in there and regain some sense of civility in these high crime ridden areas. They're going in there as support, like they're backing them up. They're not even engaging anybody from the general public. Now, if the general public engages them, they have a right to defend themselves, but they're not doing anything else. But again, going back to Congress and all of them doing that, they've already refused this. If that's what they're implying, these 6 courts have already struck this down, the ability to do this in California. Now, that's likely going to get overruled because they were wrong. But that's the way the process is supposed to work. You don't ask these guys that are there to disobey orders. You go through the right process, and guess what? Chain of command, the same thing we try to teach these people. You're telling them now to ignore chain of command. These people skip all that and go straight to YouTube, TikTok, telling troops to play constitutional scholar and basically telling them, figure it out and you do whatever you want to do. You don't have to listen to your authorities. Good luck with that. But let me tell you, current military leaders, even some that are left-leaning, yeah, they're not in it. They're not falling for this. They're not happy about this. Again, even some left-leaning people are speaking out about this. Marine Corps Commandant General Eric Smith and Army Chief of Staff General Randy George sent out memos within 48 hours saying no illegal orders have been issued, a direct rebuke of what these 6 idiots are putting out there on social media. Former Special Forces Captain John Frankman, forced out over the vaccine mandates, I might add, called it absolute garbage, putting troops in the crosshairs. And he is absolutely right about that. This is something that leaked out. Active Duty JAG said this is borderline seditious what these 6 people have put out. And finally, even Democrat veteran representative Seth Moulton distanced himself, saying, too vague, risks confusion. Wow. Even a Democrat as a voice of reason. Go figure. What this little stunt does is it politicizes the military. It's exactly what they claim to fear. Vague calls for refusal opens the door to selective obedience based on politics. That's how you break the greatest force in the history of the world. Let me be really clear. Just because these 6 don't like something that's being stated, done, implemented, doesn't mean that it's unlawful. Let me say this to every troop out there that's watching, every federal employee. Your oath is to the Constitution through the proper chain of command. Your chain of command might include somewhere along the way these 6 people. Do you realize how far away that is? Do you realize how far down the food chain these people are? In other words, you'll never get any direct guidance from them. Your direct supervision is your chain of command. No illegal orders exist right now. There's not a single illegal order that exists right now that's being handed out to you. Don't let 6 grandstanding politicians trick you into ruining your entire career and likely the rest of your life when you get that dishonorable discharge, because these 6 people, and I might remind you, one of them is former CIA, are trying to get you to do something stupid. Use the brain your mom and daddy gave you. To the 6 lawmakers, if the Constitution is really under threat from right here at home, as you say, tell me where you were when Biden's ATF was turning millions of Americans into felons. Practice what you preach or shut the F up. This is the same old partisan resistance porn that you people continue to dole out when you're not in power. Friends, drop a comment down below. Is this hypocrisy off the charts or am I missing something? Like, subscribe, share this with every vet group and every active duty chat that you're a part of, every social media group that you're in. Find out what people are thinking out there, because I'm equally curious as I'm not plugged into many of those groups. In closing, let me state this. Military, government employees, whomever out there, you guys should have the same goal that we do. I'm talking about law-abiding Americans who are constitutionally grounded. Your allegiance should be to the Constitution. Your allegiance, I don't care which party, should never be with a person who's saying things to bait you in to making something jump off. These people are trying to bait you. They know that there's some smooth brainers in the military. They know that. They're trying to take advantage of your stupidness. And I'm talking directly to any of you in the military or in federal government positions of any kind. They know some of you are stupid. While you might support what these 6 people do, understand these 6 people know that some of you are stupid. And you will blindly do what they tell you to do. Don't be stupid. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging around.